morning. This is apparently my coffee cup for the week. I do that kind of a lot, where I get on a certain kick with a coffee cup. And this one, thanks again, Rima, I love because I can just basically fill it up for the day, whether it's coffee or any other drink, click it shut and take it with me when I'm done filming. So it's a very convenient one. And I do have some really cute new coffee mugs I will be showing off soon. A lot of them are packed though, since we're moving. So, okay, today we're going to talk about detachment. Now that doesn't sound very exciting, but I have a new take on detachment that I want to share with you. So we hear a lot about this concept in the spiritual world, in Buddhism and Taoism. You want to be, not attached. You want to be detached or unattached. And it's a very difficult concept for someone like me to understand because I'm so passionate and I care so much, sometimes too much. And it's been a very complicated thing for me to try to understand, what does that mean to be detached, like in a spiritual sense? And I finally had a huge breakthrough with it recently that I want to share. So what I realized is that when I am really worried about something, anxious about something, really attached to something that I have no control or influence over, that it is a form of neuroticism. I cannot control what that other driver is doing. I can only control what I'm doing in the car. I cannot control the weather, unfortunately. So when I spend a lot of time worrying about it, it's a very similar thing to the one I did on boundaries, a new take on boundaries, right? So that one states, I'm not going to put my time, energy, money, anything into something that makes no difference. But that's what it is here. When we get attached to something we have no control or influence over, it makes no difference. If you spend all your time being very attached and invested in your mother-in-law's mental illness, but you have no influence or control there, then basically your attachment is creating drama. Your attachment is creating anxiety, pain, upset for you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I really think that this is at least a piece of this spiritual idea of detachment, is to detach from those situations, even if it's just in your mind. I'm not saying that you can't still show up, right? We've talked about this before too, leaving behind the trauma and the drama and show up in service. But what if we were able to, and I can hear a bunch of you asking, how? But what if we were able to detach ourselves mentally from the things that we have no say over? So the how. The how is always the same, you guys. You never like this answer. I don't particularly like it either. Nevertheless, it's the same. So it starts with the awareness. What I'm doing in Coffee with Dawni is I'm creating distinctions. Okay? So now that you know this, so this is why I name things. I loved it. I had a client the other day say, well, it's not my gumdrop. I was like, yes, it's catching on. Not because it's mine, but because it's a way to speak to things. It gives it language, which then can create distinction. So, oh yeah, on the boundaries one, oh yeah, that's right. I don't put my time anywhere where it doesn't make a difference. I'm being a clear mirror for that person. It creates a distinction, an awareness. So just starting with this idea, when you hear the phrase detachment, of what partially at least that can mean for you. Oh yeah, I'm going to detach from that. I don't have any influence here. I have no control here. Therefore, I'm going to release it from my mind. And how we do that after awareness is by practice. Something that works really well for me is to have something else ready to fill that space. So I feel attached, I feel upset, let's say to the weather, which sounds like a silly one, but is actually one of my main ones, as Gideon can certainly tell you. I'm a compulsive weather checker. It started from being a photographer, from being an outdoor photographer. And then it kind of morphed into being worried about the weather for driving reasons. So fears, right? It's fear-based, basically. And so if I can detach from what the weather's going to be and know, and then have, like, even maybe have a plan B. Okay, well, right now, I'm planning on going up to Park City Saturday night. But if there's a huge snowstorm, I'm going to let them know up front that this is weather dependent, and then I can just detach. Can I control the weather? No. Can I control my communication being clear? Yes. Can I control my own boundaries and what I will and will not drive in? Absolutely. So having something, either whether it's a plan B or just a way to communicate, that instantly will help because you can detach yourself from the thing that you actually don't have any influence over and then focus on the thing that you do have influence over. So I am not a Buddhist monk, nor am I a master in Taoism. So none of this is for me to say that I understand detachment. What I've had to do is look at it from a way that I, as this super empathic, loving, passionate, caring person, can grasp. And it has really changed things for me. This is a fairly recent thing, so it's still unfolding. I'm still in the practice of this. So, okay, so I want you to, let's think of a couple of other examples of this. Let's say that you have a grown child who is struggling with addiction. Okay, so in what ways do you have influence and in what ways do you not? So one of the things here is that you could say, if you have the resources to help them, to help pay for rehab, you can create that offer. You have influence over the offer, influence over the communication. Can you make them go? Right? Maybe not. Okay, maybe you don't have the finances, but you have the emotional RAM to be able to be there for them. You can make that offer. Here's how I can help you. Here's what I have influence over. And then you detach, not from loving them, not from caring about them, but from trying to control what you cannot control. From, and understanding that they have a path, that you don't get to say exactly how it's going to go. You don't understand the full lesson that they're here to learn or what their path is. No part of me is saying that this is easy. I'm really asking us to create this distinction and a different way to look at detachment. So where can you see this playing out in your life? Where are you attached to something that you have no influence or control over? And how can you detach from that as an awareness and a practice? Having something else that can come in that you do have influence over. Which often, you guys, is going to be some form of communication. I hope this makes sense. It makes so much sense in my mind. And as always, there's always the challenge of putting this into language that can be shared. So that's your assignment for today, is to look at this new way of thinking of detachment. I hope it helps. I hope it sparks some ideas in you. And as always, my lovelies, may your coffee be strong and your life be blessed. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. And if you would be interested in working with me further, you can check out DawniAngel.com. I would love to come speak to your group, come to your business to do a training, be on your podcast, my personal favorite, or even work with you one-on-one.